Welcome back, everybody, to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD.
Starting this part off with what it has to be one of the best songs in the game.
So we are inside Forest Haven itself.
So, remember back a couple parts when we got the Color Picto box? In the original version of the game, you get there's a special rainbow-colored firefly that you have to capture in a bottle and bring back.
Mm-hmm. And this Deku Tree has the worst case of acne. What the hell?
Get him some Everclear.
Yeah. But anyway, as he was talking about, in the original game, you would have to get their special firefly in a bottle and bring it to Lenzo to get the deluxe Picto box. But in this version,
they just throw shit at you.
Actually, no. In this version, if you do that, you get a joy pendant. So they flip-flop the rewards.
I see.
I'm not going to bother doing that in this playthrough.
Joy pendants are a dime a dozen.
I get a surplus of joy pendants in this playthrough.
The Deku Tree. Or the Deku Tree. Depending on your particular way of phrasing things.
Or pronouncing things, or whatever.
Yeah.
Koroks, what the hell?
I love the design of the Koroks. I think they're very good. With their like pointy noses and leaf faces and the fact that they float. This was definitely a Zelda game that kind of changed some of the standard character designs. The Deku Tree has the cherished children? That's not a common theme or anything.
Nope. But wait!
Shit's going down!
Yes, it is.
Oh no, not Makar! Or Makar!
Oh no, not the next dungeon, shit!
Oh yeah, you were telling me about your thoughts on this next dungeon.
Well, I will get to my problems with this dungeon when they come up.
Alright, fair enough.
So, yeah.
People can't fly through the air! Unless they're a Rito tribe.
Or, just decide, fuck it, let's get a jetpack.
So this is the second, rather unique item in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple are unique to the Zelda franchise. You got the grappling hook, and the Deku leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think
we have
that's
to get to the Deku leaf first.
Oh, these things! I could you have to. There's a. They are rather generous with the aiming window with these things, but it still took me forever to figure out.
It didn't take so long for me to figure this shit out.
Well, I was 13 at the time. So...
Yes, IQ was actually somehow lower. I don't
understand I know, right?
That.
But man, this tree's pretty tall.
Yeah. You can actually go even more upwards with this thing, but...
Get the more ups.
More ups, yes. But now we have the Deku Leaf in our possession.
So what this item, you can either use it to float, or use it to blast gusts of air. Both of which costing magic.
Both of these abilities in order to get to places and solve puzzles and shit.
Well, no, floating costs magic. Gusts of air require you
Gusts
to
of
have
air
magic.
do not use magic.
But you cannot use it if you do not have magic at all.
So it requires that you have a sliver of magic.
At least some, because when you don't have any magic, the leaf loses like all the. It just has the veins.
Oh, that's right. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get to Forbidden Woods, I guess.
The Forbidden Woods, and a character is getting lost in them? I wonder.
I do wonder as well. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I remember
so in
correctly...
this version of the game, there's actually a little thing that will indicate where you're going to land if you're looking straight down.
Oh.
So that's like with the Tingle Tuner, how with certain items you would like see a tingle face or whatever on the ground, and you know stuff, and you could be able to aim easier. Since the Tingle Tuner was taken out for this version of the game, that part, I guess, got transferred over to the Deku Leaf, which I guess that makes the most sense.
In the original, you could aim the camera straight down, just wherever you were going to land. You really didn't keep that much forward motion once you let go of the leaf.
And here we are in the Forbidden Woods proper.
That didn't take too long.
Nope.
I like the aesthetic. It's a very nice wooden, foresty aesthetic.
So, Zelda's totally changing things up here. Previously, we had the forest dungeon first and the lava dungeon second. In this game, it's the lava dungeon first and the forest dungeon second.
Yep.
And, well, yeah, right in here is the game saying, hey, we're just gonna give you the fucking map right away.
Don't need to hunt this down quite yet. This isn't, I'll admit, this isn't the most difficult in the franchise, but you're not exactly looking at the franchise for Dark Souls levels of difficulty.
So, you might have seen earlier, these green shoes, they drop green chew jelly, and you get some of that, and you give it to somebody in Windfall Island, the potion guy in Windfall Island, and they'll make green potions available. I believe you have to get 15.
It's a not insignificant amount. But chews are easy, so...
Yes.
This dungeon, one of this dungeon's gimmicks are locked doors that you don't need a key to kill, or a key to open, because you just need to kill the thing that's holding the door shut.
However, if you get too close to it, it'll just be like, nope.
Now, these plants combined with the Deku Leaf are very reminiscent of the Deku flowers from Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the exact same concept.
Except, you know, you can actually float around for longer in this game.
Yeah. And also, if you want to disengage, you can just go straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't, like...
You don't, like, muck it up.
Yeah. Bloof. Oh, hey. I forget what these are called. I want to say Deku bulbs, but...
You know what? I don't give a damn. Alright, wait for it, and boom! Alright, so now we drop this here. And that wasn't close enough.
And that flower will, close up, so you can't damage it when you get near.
That's what I meant by saying if you get too close to it, just like, nope.
Alright. I like this section here because it's kind of a neat element regarding the wind physics
The wind physics. It took me forever to figure out that if you just actually use the Deku Leaf going behind you, you can actually just propel yourself forward.
Because if you try and get the hit those the propellers that launch it, it doesn't work. It just moves
doesn't
further
work
down.
very well.
Yeah.
So here we have Bane of Existence, P-Hats. P-Hats
fun in any
often
game.
carry golden feathers.
Well, yeah. Clearly they are bird-like animals.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, once, like, they're a bit of an issue around certain islands, but once you get the Deku Leaf, it's really no big deal.
Yeah.
But they're easy to avoid anyway.
And there are actually myriad ways to deal with P-Hats in this game.
Yeah, I know, right? Blue.
Right, if we continue and trek upward here. And now we have to figure out some way to finagle this thing. I'm trying to get to this freaking treasure chest here. And I messed up. I hardly edit anything out of dungeons, so be prepared for that.
Aw, yeah. Easier methods.
Yes, tactics!
We are the best game players. What are you talking about? Wee.
Okay, now to actually continue with the thing, there's another one of those flowers there. It's like, how the hell are we supposed to figure out this puzzle?
It's really difficult to discuss this dungeon without spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, this is even bigger spoilers than, this dungeon, like, if you don't know what we're talking about, is pretty innocuous, but if you do know what we're talking about, you know that there's a lot more references in this one than the, first dungeon. If I remember correctly, you can accidentally use the wind physics to knock that nut off, which
Yes.
I had done once.
Yes.
I'm like, darn it, I'm an idiot.
In fact, you will need to use this to your advantage. These vines are the biggest goddamn issue in this dungeon, and I will explain why when we get to a certain room.
Oh, I know what room you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I never really had much issue with it. I mean, okay, like my biggest problem with it is it kind of slowed the pacing down slightly, but
That's not even my biggest problem with it.
those waving thorn vines to let you know if you try and Deku Leaf your way and you hit them, they will
Nope.
knock you
They'll
down.
just be like, nope.
Be like, hey, get out of my airspace.
You're invading privacy, I guess.
I like how this basically brings the concept of the moving platform to like a physical design.
That's the hardest rupee to get ever, geez.
I know, right? I think they kind of messed up with the hitboxes slightly. But as you can see, this like main chamber is very reminiscent of the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these things. Alright, these are annoying. Basically,
They're kind of small targets.
and they weigh you down, and it's actually rather hard to hit them. You pretty much have to let them jump on you and then do your spin attack.
Which I've never really had a problem with, actually.
I think if you spam A as well, you can roll them off, but then you still have to hit them, and it's like,
Whereas if you spin attack them off of you, you might actually have a chance to hit them with the spin attack.
yeah.
This is the room. This fucking thing. This is just dumb.
Basically, they took the concept of the fire maze from the Goron Mines
Pro tip, game designers. Giant rooms that are mazes with,
Essentially invisible walls.
Not fun. It is not ever, it is hardly ever good design.
I don't know. I honestly never really had much trouble getting through it.
We're coming up to the issue I had. As soon as we bomb this out and get what's in the thing.
Like, my biggest concern with it is that they could stand to make the range of the vines react a bit farther out.
Okay, so here's my problem with this. Whoosh! Okay, so the room earlier, where you had the Deku Nut surrounded by vines, and you had to use your Deku Leaf to push the Deku Nut through the vines. That is supposed to teach you that you can throw items through vines. I did not recognize this. So I was, in my first playthrough of this, I was stuck here for what must have been an hour.
Huh.
Trying to figure out just what the fuck. Another instance of bad design.
I want, to pull a,
And it is required, because... Small key.
No. To pull a, jump and shoot man thing, I would say that that's more of an issue with conveyance than design.
Whoa.
I mean, the puzzle itself works. Oh, one thing I did notice, those bulbs that when you jump into them recover a bit of magic.
That they do.
That's something I didn't find out till like years after I'd played.
I have no time to deal with these green shoes. Like, seriously, ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, they're just shoes. It's not like we don't fight dozens upon dozens of them.
Alright, this is probably where the P-hats are most dangerous in the entire game, because you can't really...
Because contact with the floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark, followed by death.
Not really. But if you don't want to mess up with the flow of the dungeon, I guess.
I love these bug things.
They're, Mothullas.
Yeah. There's so even if you mess up the parry attack with them, they're so much fun. And then a certain later enemy is that times like 5.
We'll be seeing that in a couple minutes, actually, if memory serves me.
So I've noticed since the move from the N64 onto the GameCube, Nintendo really likes these rather vertical rooms. Where, like, you have 3 circular floors with a central thing that you can climb on, and then the floors are ring around it.
There's me using the grappling hook to take some golden feathers.
That's probably one of its best functions, too.
Yes, yes.
Now, the P-hats are vulnerable to the
I just
wind
want to say
gust.
one thing about the Deku Leaf. It can be a problem when you're trying to deal with these P-hats with the Deku Leaf, like in a combat situation, because it takes a second for the thing.
And they can close distance pretty easily.
Yes. So that is one thing you do need to watch out for.
Man, Link's got some good upper arm strength.
No shit.
Like, I could never do that.
I
Although
could never do that. I don't know what...
It doesn't help that I'm a fat ass.
Right.
The one thing with these moving platforms that I'm not really a fan of is they don't really move like wood. They move more like... They look like wood, but they move more like an animal's body part. So I'm wondering if it's just
it's Ganon's evil magic is what it is.
You know what? I'm wondering if
Can you
these
figure
are
that out?
a retextured platform from the next dungeon. If you know what I'm talking about.
But enough about that. It's time for a mini-boss.
This is my favorite mini-boss in the game. I love it so much. It's so cool.
The hell, man? What are you doing with these cheap shots?
It's got a rocket butt!
And then I have zero fucking time to react to that parry prompt.
It's Rocket Moth!
It's Winged Mothula.
Winged Mothula. Pretty much.
This mini-boss actually shows up in a later thing.
It does.
With stuff. But you can one-shot them at that point.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so cool! Oh, I love the parrying system in this game. It creates some epic moments. And it's nice that they kill those little bugger things. After the Mothula dies. Alright, what's the dungeon item?
What could this possibly be? It's... Oh, it's just a fucking boomerang. Who gives a shit about that?
Although this one is, if I remember correctly, is the first time it functions a bit differently.
That it does.
Compared to how it did in, Ocarina of Time and...
Here's an example.
Now that was obvious you were aiming with the touchpad.
Yes.
That almost looks like it'd be a bit easier to do with the, just with the control stick.
Well, I have to mention that, actually you can do that. But, like I said earlier in this playthrough, because the stick placement is so weird on the, gamepad, I find it easier to just use the gyroscope controls for that.
Gee, I wonder how we're gonna get past here. It's not like we didn't just get a new amazing item that could help us solve this puzzle.
Not like I'm trying to get this goddamn golden feather from this fucking pea hat.
I'm trying to remember what golden feathers get you.
They will get you a whopping 1 heart piece.
Right. Well,
and 100 rupees.
This game has a lot of heart pieces.
44 to be exact.
And that's not an insignificant amount.
Fucking go in the door. Fucking context sensitivity bullshit. I will keep bringing this up because it is the biggest problem in this game.
Well, and you gotta remember, this is a 10-year-old game. And it's a reskin of a 10-year-old game, I should say. I like this room. It's like mowing the lawn, only like 10 times more fun.
Man, I wish I could buy a magical item that's like a boomerang, but it cuts the grass.
I would boomerang I would mow the lawn more if I could do it with a boomerang. Get these little hit markers on it and be like, oh shit, this is awesome!
And then realize, well, shit, I have to throw this thing multiple times because I can only lock on to 5 targets at once.
Yeah. That's true. Hey, joy
We keep getting way too many of these fucking joy pendants.
It's not like we'll use them or anything.
Well, like I said, I think I actually will still end up getting a surplus even after all of the stuff.
No, you don't stop getting them after you don't need them anymore.
Shit! thought I could jump that without the Deku Leaf. Oh, whatever. Whatever, game. We'll do this your way.
I'm wondering how many people caught on about my comment on this being the best soundtrack. This dungeon having the best soundtrack in the game. That pile of leaves that he just did the thing for, you can blow those away with the Deku Leaf.
But enough about that. We're going to break through the thing here, and next time we'll finish Forbidden Woods.